Let's get to the bottom of this now. At the start of the year, everyone was excited about the huge chance that XRP would reach $10,000, 0 cents. All through the year, this excitement kept going. What do you think, too? The accuracy of that guess has just gotten a lot better. BlackRock has given his official support to this by Larry Fink. Think about this. There is more going on here than just $10,000, 0 cents per XRP. I'm sorry. Particular, he is saying that it is an essential need. Once more, you've reached the spot where you can find information about XRP. Before we get to the main part of today's post, let's quickly catch up. Okay, let's begin. Could you please help me? There are 3 buttons you can click to join our great community: the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button. You'll also get a heads up as the day gets closer. Everything is getting ready for a huge XRP boost. There's a very easy way to enter the giveaway. Let's do these 3 easy things. Okay, keep an eye out and get ready. If you want to be sure you are entered into the giveaway, don't forget to leave a code for the money side in the comments. Now, things start to get juicy. Allow us to imagine for a moment that some of the biggest names in finance, like BlackRock and Vanguard, are really thinking about using XRP for their international transactions. Don't stress out. Things are going to get better. Someone says that BlackRock is going to start an exchange-traded fund, ETF, that will be based on XRP. You did hear that. That's true. But there's more to it than that. Lawrence Frank has done other things too. He is looking into the huge real estate market, which is thought to be worth $10 trillion, 0 cents. Are you willing to guess what the future holds for it? Okay, that's it. The XRP system will change when everything is ready. Putting everything into tokens, a huge amount of $1.22 quadrillion will also be sent through the XRP system and ripple it by the International Swaps and Traders Association. There is more going on here than just $10,000, 0 cents per XRP. For this reason, kids play. It's possible that the value of each XRP could go through the roof and reach $60,000, 0 cents or more. That's really cool. Let's move on to the next part, shall we? But Larry Fink of BlackRock came up with yet another important idea for prize. He talks and adds more to the conversation. The value of the digital currency XRP, which is owned by Ripple, is going to grow very quickly. In the end, everything will be turned into keys. Another interesting part of our movie is the next part, which has a clip that is sure to surprise people. Larry Fink personally checked that BlackRock was on the right track to becoming an exchange-traded fund, ETF, that invests in XRP. There is no reason to wait any longer. You are welcome to look at this video now. The risk of harm is going down in a number of ways. One of these is through a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, ETF. Do you have any other ETFs as well? XRP could have an exchange-traded fund, ETF. No changes were made to this sentence as it is already written. Where does XRP stand? What do you think about that? Not at all. For what reason do you not want me to answer? Yes, it's a shame I can't. Okay, they're making fun of me by someone. A lot of strange things have been happening in the world of cryptography lately. In the first place, think about this when it comes to XRP. Crypto.com, XRP's value went through the roof and reached an amazing $43,000, 0 cents on the world's most famous market. There was an incredible rise. This is not going to happen just once. The price of XRP is going up without any warning because this is part of a pattern that is growing. You may remember that. Last week, we talked about a bug that let a big exchange lose $7,000, 0 cents worth of XRP. Now is the time for Crypto.com, and it looks like sudden price increases for XRP are happening all the time in a number of markets. Still, I'm going to move on to something else. I also learned something else very interesting after doing a lot of research. It has nothing to do with BlackRock or the general rise in the price of XRP available on the market. We're going to talk about Gary Gensler, the famous head of the SEC, who he took over for Jake Clinton a few years ago. The vast majority of you may already know this, but Gensler always puts XRP in the security category. Things start to get interesting now. The brother of Gary Gensler is named Robert M. Gensler, and they are exact twins. Both of them look a lot alike, and they are the same age. When Robert is vice president of Troll Price. He is a very important person in the company. There is more to Troll Price than meets the eye. It's one of the biggest companies that does this. Puts a lot of money into cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ether, and yes, even XRP. You will see that this is the case if you look a little more closely. As a result, there is an interesting link here. XRP is still being called a security by Gary Gendler, who is the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. On the other hand, one of his twin brothers works closely with an investment firm that has a lot of money in XRP and several other cryptocurrencies. This difference is interesting to me, and it makes me think about the complicated dynamics at play with Bitcoin investments and the law. We have now come across an interesting alternative. Is it possible that Robert Gensler, vice president of Troll Price, knows something about the future of XRP that no one else does? This is similar to how little people know about Bitcoin and Ethereum. When you think about how much money the company has put into these three cryptocurrencies, this idea starts to make sense. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, says there is no such thing as insider trading, but many investigations and reports have shown that there is. Yes, there is. Several of these investigations, which have mostly been about market manipulation and insider trading, have shown that the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is doing things that are not right. At first glance, it looks like a pattern is starting to form. It looks like people who work for the Securities and Exchange Commission are telling their friends and family about digital assets that may not be stocks anymore. Following that, these family members spent early how much, the value of the asset, goes through the roof after it was made public that it is not a security. This lets family and friends get rich by buying low and selling high. So, let's look at the idea that Robert N. Gendler got secret information from his brother Gary Gendler about how the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, might lose a case against XRP. The fact that this kind of information is available could mean that Congress wants Ripple Labs and the SEC to reach a deal. Smart people who want to buy XRP should take advantage of this chance. The fact that the T. Rowe Prize has been making people invest more money in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most importantly, XRP adds another layer to this story. A lot of people who work with cryptocurrencies are talking about how XRP could soon reach unimaginable highs like $10,000, 0 cents, $20,000, 0 cents. Some analysts, like Jack the Rippler, have been bullish on XRP and say that the value of the cryptocurrency will rise and may even go over $589, 0 cents. Even though this prediction is very bold, it shows how much people are interested in it and speculating about XRP and the chances it opens up in the cryptocurrency business. Financial experts on Wall Street want to buy some XRP because it is so valuable. What do I think? An exchange-traded fund, ETF, for XRP will be the first big step. Anyhow, let's look into it more. This change is more than just a description at the surface level. Crypto Basic has some exciting news for us to share with you. A professional